Welcome to the Utah Valley Chamber of Commerce Chamber Chat. Today, we are delighted to welcome into our conversation Chris Yadon. Chris Yadon is the Executive Director of the Younique Foundation and Defend Innocence. And it is our pleasure to be hosted here at his facility in Lehigh. It's a beautiful campus, and it's appropriate because they do wonderful, beautiful work. And it's not so much of a coincidence that we're here in April 2021. We are moving out of the pandemic and into a spring-like day that is second to none. But all of those attributes align very well for us to be here on a wonderful afternoon to spend a few minutes with Chris. Chris, tell us why April is such an important month and what that means for you here at Defend Innocence.
Yeah, so April, we commemorate two things. One is Sexual Assault Awareness Month. The other is Child Abuse Prevention Month. So those two collide and combine to align very closely with our vision and mission, which is to eradicate sexual abuse and its impacts.
How do you know that you're making a difference?
Yeah, so making a difference when you're talking about something like sexual abuse has a long game and a short game. So, you know, in the shorter term, there are very specific indicators that we follow to learn if women are healing from the sexual abuse they experienced as a child, or to find out if parents are being empowered to educate their children. The long-term impacts, the 20, 30, 40-year impacts about reducing the incidence of sexual abuse, we won't know for a long time. But we take faith in the shorter-term outcomes and the effectiveness that we see there.
Those two organizations, Younique Foundation, Defend Innocence, was it always in the vision of your founders and of you personally that you would run two parallel organizations with a similar vision?
It was always in the vision because it's one of those issues that is very intertwined. And if you focus on just one side of it, say the healing side of it, it has an impact on the prevention side of it and vice versa. So in our world, there are four areas when it comes to dealing with sexual abuse. We deal with the front end, which is prevention, by empowering parents through education to reduce the risk of sexual abuse. And then we deal on the exact opposite end, which is the long-term recovery. This is helping adult survivors who are sexually abused as children overcome the impacts of PTSD in their lives.
How long has this vision been in place? Give us an idea. Here we are, 2021. What year was it founded? We just entered a new decade. What do you see on the horizon for the next 10 years?
Yeah, so we were founded at the end of 2014, started operating in 2015. So we're just over 6 years old in terms of operating. In terms of the vision behind us, it started a few years before that with our founders and the work that they did to build up a company, a for-profit company that could, in a significant way, fund the founding of our nonprofit. In terms of the vision of where we're going, we've been richly blessed here in Utah Valley with a surge of business, a tremendous economy, leading in so many areas. And with that comes responsibility. One area where we have not led the country is in dealing with injustices like sexual abuse. But we have an opportunity to. And with all those amazing and tremendous blessings that have come to our business community, we have an opportunity now to give back, whether it be to this cause or other causes. And with that prosperity comes responsibility. And we can apply the same amazing things we've done in our business sector to the nonprofit sector and really radically change the way nonprofits engage in work and engage effectively in work, because the same principles that make for an effective business apply to a nonprofit as well. So as I look towards the future, I feel like my personal responsibility outside of just the work of the foundation, is to engender a sense of give back in the community that we have here in Utah Valley, and that give back being tied to actually fundamentally changing major social issues.
As we have talked, we have referred to principles that have been intertwined with the Valley, those principles of prosperity that have brought us to this point of economic good standing. Principles such as spend less than you make, leave it better than when you came. Free enterprise is a strong principle of prosperity. As you reviewed some of our principles, or you think about principles of prosperity in the way that you would define them, in what ways does our business community stand to benefit from holding on to some of those principles that got us this far?
So, focusing on one that I think is worth really highlighting is the principle of prosperity that focuses on empowerment and giving a hand up rather than a handout. It's so important to so many things that we do, and in the mental health world that I'm in, it's critical. People are able to manage and work through their mental health challenges when they're empowered. Yeah. It's not about being coddled. It's not about being taken care of in every single way. It's about empowering them to manage their experiences, to manage their challenges. And we are really good at that here in Utah Valley, that particular principle of prosperity. And it comes out in mental health, but it also comes out in so many critical business principles, right? And how we govern our businesses. One that I think is one that we can really improve on, ties directly to the world I live in and the cause that I work in. And it relates to the principle of prosperity about leaving it better than you found it. Yeah. Sexual abuse has been studied for many years. It's not getting better. In fact, in many ways, we believe it's getting worse. I'll just share a couple quick statistics that will make the hair on the back of your head stand up. In Utah, the CDC does study with our high school age kids. They've been doing these for several years, and they ask 3 sexual violence questions. Our high school girls report that 11% of them have been raped before they graduate. Think about that.
1 in 10, more than 1 in 10.
Yeah. 22% of them report having been sexually assaulted in the last 12 months. That is horrific. That is horrific. And it gets buried because there's so much shame and taboo associated with it. They don't talk about it. They often don't even disclose it till they're out of the house and in college or later on in life. That is a problem. And we're not facing that problem as a society. And it's happening in Alpine, it's happening in Provo, it's happening in Lehigh, it's happening in San Joaquin. It doesn't discriminate. And we're higher than national averages when it comes to sexual assault. Rape's pretty close to national averages. We can do better than that. We value things differently than that. But we've got to have it come out in our actions. And the leave it better than you found it, we've got to genuinely believe in that principle of prosperity if we're going to make a dent in this particular issue.
So, as I represent a few in the chamber, but many as a chamber membership, thank you for your contributions and for sharing your time, talent, and treasure.
Thank you. It's a pleasure, and I love it, and I love the chamber.
Thank you.